Hello there, welcome to Star Wars Perspective. In this video, I'd like to talk about something that really divided the fanbase, Luke Skywalker in Episode VIII, The Last Jedi. By the by, there will be spoilers for Episode IX, The Rise of Skywalker in this video, so just a heads up for anyone who still hasn't gotten a chance to see the film. Turn back now if you don't want to be spoiled on anything from Episode IX. In The Last Jedi, we see Luke living in seclusion on the planet Ahch-To, the birthplace of the Jedi Order, in a self-imposed exile. The reason that we're given in the film for this is because, in Luke's own words, regarding him looking into his sleeping nephew Ben Solo's mind, "I looked inside, and it was beyond what I'd ever imagined. Snoke had already turned his heart. He would bring destruction, pain, death, and at the end of everything I love because of what he will become. And for the briefest moment of pure instinct, I thought I could stop it. It passed like a fleeting shadow, and I was left with shame and with consequence. And the last thing I saw were the eyes of a frightened boy whose master had failed him." Many fans took this moment as the destruction of their childhood hero. A lot of people were very vocal about their dislike of this moment in the film. So many times online I read, if Luke could sense the good in Darth Vader, why couldn't he sense the good in his own nephew, who wasn't nearly as evil? And Jedi don't murder people. All of these are sound points, and I can see where people are coming from. However, I have a personal headcanon that is my theory as to why Luke acted this way in Episode VIII, and this is where I get to my point. The darkness that Luke sensed within Ben was actually Darth Sidious, Sheev Palpatine, fallen Emperor of the Galactic Empire, or so everyone believed. And here's why I believe this. In Episode IX, The Rise of Skywalker, at the beginning of the film, Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, travels to the Sith planet Exegol to confront Darth Sidious, who has revealed himself to the galaxy via a transmission that the First Order intercepted. While there, Sidious is speaking into Ren's mind, and tells him in the voices of himself, Snoke, and Darth Vader that he, Sidious, has been every voice that Ren has ever heard in his mind. We also learn that Sidious created Snoke. These revelations bring 2 points to mind. First, Kylo Ren's admiration of Darth Vader, as well as Vader showing Ren the power of the dark side, was all Darth Sidious is doing from the very beginning. Second, Darth Sidious has the ability to invade the minds of others using any voice he chooses to make them believe whatever he wants them to believe. Since Darth Sidious created Snoke, as well as using Snoke as a figurehead to establish the First Order as the initial phase of Sidious's master plan to launch the Final Order Sith fleet, it is safe to assume that Snoke answered directly to Darth Sidious, and therefore was essentially Sidious's apprentice, even if not in the traditional sense of the concept. Therefore, I believe that in the moment Luke looked into Ben's mind, he saw the pure darkness of Darth Sidious dwelling within the boy. If you look at Luke's expression in the tent and then compare it to his expression when he sees Rey's raw power that didn't scare him then but does now, he essentially has the same look in his eyes. In Return of the Jedi, Luke stands confident against the Emperor, with no fear as a Jedi. Then Darth Sidious scoffs and blasts Luke with a searing volley of Force lightning that leaves Luke writhing in the worst imaginable agony. Luke had never felt a pain like this before. It wasn't just physical, it was emotional, mental, and even in the Force. It was suffering, hatred, death, everything horrible and negative all at once coursing through his body like molten metal in his veins. I sincerely believe that after Luke's encounter with Darth Sidious on the Death Star 2, he felt real fear for the first time, and he never forgot what that felt like. So, when Darth Sidious began invading Ben's mind, masquerading as the spirit of Darth Vader, it left behind a residual presence of the pure evil and darkness that was Darth Sidious. And that brought back all of the fear and pain that Luke felt 30 years prior when being engulfed in Force lightning by the Sith Lord Master. And then he reacted against that darkness, not Ben's. Darth Sidious used Ben Solo as a trap against Luke Skywalker to attempt to break the spirit of the Jedi who was the catalyst for the redemption of Anakin Skywalker, and to fully turn Ben to the dark side in order to keep using the mighty Skywalker blood as his pet hound, unbeknownst to all but Sidious and Snoke. And it worked. Luke was made to believe that he had failed his student, and Ben was made to believe that his uncle had tried to murder him in his sleep. Also, speaking of Snoke, he was merely another tool, as Sidious was too weak to train Ben in the dark side. So that's the purpose that Snoke served in all of this. He only existed to train Kylo Ren and give the First Order galactic dominance, and then he was disposable from that point onward. So that's my headcanon about why Luke Skywalker had that moment of pure instinct. Destroy the Sith we must, as Yoda once said to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan also reminded Anakin on Mustafar that he had once sworn an oath to destroy the Sith. The Jedi have always battled the Sith, and Luke was no different. His entire story was about defeating the Sith and restoring the Jedi. However, he was also a human being, and humans are not perfect. Everyone stumbles, everyone makes mistakes, even a Jedi. In a lot of cases, especially the Jedi, because they're constantly trying to keep their extreme emotions quelled in order to maintain a balance within themselves. It is my sincere opinion that The Last Jedi did not ruin Luke Skywalker. I think a lot of people just needed to see Episode 9 in order to get the complete narrative, because all the pieces fit together when you have the complete story presented to you. Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. Leave a comment below about your thoughts on this topic, or a topic that you would like me to cover in another video. Let's have some discussions. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. May the Force be with you always, my friends.